Okay, guys, we're recording. We're gonna get started. First of all, happy Tuesday, happy payday. Always my favorite day of the week for two reasons. One, we get paid, right? But two, this call. I am so excited to have another amazing 200K that graciously said yes, they would hop on with us today and share their story and tips with us. And Erica, you're probably gonna have to unmute yourself because I think I muted everybody out.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
You guys, everyone, Erica Sherwood. First of all, Erica, you were you cracked me up when you were like, "Don't forget to remind me." You're like my twin. I'm like, anytime I do anything with anyone, I'm like, please remind me. Like I'm not the calendar girl. I'm so bad at that. But I am just so grateful that you said yes to get on and share with us today. And I just kind of want to jump right into it. And I want to know, because I don't know your story, and I want to know, like, what were you doing before network marketing, and how did you find this industry, and did you do anything besides Lavelle, or was like Lavelle your first ever thing? And then how did you find Lavelle? And then we'll kind of go from there.
Sure. Well, thank you for having me on. And wow, looks like an amazing group of leaders. This is cool that you've pulled this all together and you have this many people uh, wanting to grow themselves. So that's really cool. I love seeing this. Is really inspiring. So, and you'll have to excuse my voice. I am a homeschool basketball coach. So I coach 12 and under boys homeschool basketball, and we had a tournament this weekend. So we've been playing Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yelled a lot, hollered a lot, cheered a lot. So I'm losing my voice. So if my voice cracks or you're unable to understand me, please bear with me. So, well, thank you, Lisa, for having me on here. And I'm excited to hear your story too. I don't know if you're going to share it on here or not. I know probably all these people have heard it, but what's cool about this company is that everyone has such a unique story, whether it's the emotional side, the mental side, the spiritual side, and the financial side. So it's really cool to see all of those things in people's stories. And I'm curious about some of y'all's stories as well. So with Lavelle, I have been promoting the product since day one. So I was that girl that was looking for something. We owned a screen printing business for 10 years. Prior to that, my husband and I were in the graphic design industry. My husband is amazing, a genius. He was the first digitally downloadable clip art company in the 90s. So you could download clip art in the 90s from his creations and artwork. He employed artists that he would even come in and apply on a sticky note. So you never know what kind of talent is going to be hidden with just a simple gift that someone has. So when I got introduced to it, I was actually seeking out something. I had seen another company that had put out magazines, and I'd seen that they had these people that were super successful just from sharing a product, and it was their story that I was attracted to. And I knew that like that story had to be moving in order for them to have the success that they were having, the financial success. And so when I sought to find a company, I was looking for something that would align with that. So I think, those of you that are on here are promoters. When you are connecting with people, I think the leaders that you want to recruit, if you will, are the ones that are looking for something that is in alignment with their integrity. And so that being in alignment with my integrity, the fact that I knew I could promote something that would help someone, could give my family financial freedom, that was the appeal to me. And I initially was approached by another company. It was a skincare company. And I said no, because I didn't feel like, that could truly change someone's life. I wanted something that you guys are having the success that you're having for the product does people's lives. So that same person, which you all know who my sponsor is, Maria Dillard, she came to me 4 months after that and said, I know you want to help people. I have found something. I've been on the product for 4 days. I was up all night with my 3-year-old and I feel amazing. 30 minutes later, I had already placed an order. I started promoting the product. I went into the allergy testing office, which, by the way, I didn't even have the money for that doctor's visit. I was looking at my debit card in the parking lot, put my promoter pack order and a couple of other things, like a $600 order on my credit card, and went into the nurse's office and said, "Hey, I found this amazing product. My friend's been on it. I don't know much about it, but it's this foam cream you rub on your arms and you feel amazing." Okay, she said foam, TFT on her arm, and all I heard was foam you put on your arm. So I thought it was like this cream. So I started promoting it ignorantly, though I believed in it. So I think, your leader, Chastity, her is big belief. Like having that big belief was like, gosh, I wish I might tear up. I want that back, y'all. I've been in it 7 years and I want that back. Dropped off or lacked or maybe the numbers are showing, it's because they don't have that big belief. So you guys have an amazing leader that pours into you that says big belief. And I'm not saying it's their responsibility 100%. We have to take 100% responsibility for our actions and the results of the decisions that we've made and that I have made. Though that right there, if you can keep reigniting that in yourself, which is what I've had to do over the last 7 years, that it becomes sustainably fulfilling. And so when I ordered that product and I got it in, the nurse actually told me, "I'm sorry, but you can't take any supplements for 2 weeks," because I was doing allergy testing. So I'm like, oh my goodness, I just started a business. How am I going to be able to do this? Like, there's this bonus I can go for. Like, I can't even take the product, right? Well, I put my husband on it, put my parents on it, everyone around me. I started pulling stories. I used stories from Maria, the people that she was sharing it with, and just use other people's stories and just started telling them, I'm like, I can't take it right now. I cannot wait to take it, though this is what it's doing for them. And it just, like, I think in 21 days, we had earned the auto bonus. Within 6 months, we had reached 200K. And it has just been a whirlwind since then. I'm not going to say it's all been roses, but it has been a whirlwind. But I will say that anything that we have gone through, everything that we have gone through, is God's way of honing you to receive the blessings that He has for you. So that's kind of how it all started. I mean, it's been tough. I've dropped below 200K. I'm heavily lopsided with one leg. We've done over $120 million in sales in 7 years. However, you see those numbers and people put those up and all of that. Don't pay attention to that. Pay attention to the things that matter, and the things that matter are, who are you impacting today that's right in front of you? Who do you have in your life that you could give that big belief to, that can have a tremendous ripple effect? So gosh, the ripples that are happening with all of these people that are on here, 110 people on here right now, that's incredible. That is incredible. Your lives have been changed, and just think of all the other people that you're going to be able to impact if you don't stop. Keep that big belief. Keep telling yourself that the commitment that you have made is the right commitment. I have a thing I wanted to share with you, discipline. I wanted to just give you the definition of discipline. I saw this morning it was in my Bible, it was in the back book, but I know what it said. I was taking notes in there. Discipline is making yourself do what you don't want to do. Okay, like Chastity said, she could have just laid in bed and turned the video off and not did this. And not everybody wants to get up and work out. You have to make yourself do what you don't want to do in order to get the results that you are striving for. And I hate to say striving, because Solomon talks about striving and that we shouldn't be toiling and striving in our life. And I apologize for using that word, but I mean, when you are disciplining yourself to work towards those goals that you have set for your family, for other people. And, I think this industry and this company is about leadership. and building up other leaders. I have never done a network marketing company before. I did another little thing because I loved the product for about a year before I was introduced to Lavelle, and I loved the product. I just did it because I wanted to get the 40% discount, and thank goodness I didn't, because I'm not doing it anymore. However, uh, having the not having the experience, one of the things that I think you can do as a leader, because everyone is a leader, being thrown into this and having success, or having a little bit, you're going to have success. That's the thing. You share it with one person, that's success, is learning how to grow yourself in your leadership role and what you define success as. So, success is your definition of it and what that means to you. And if it's a superficial meaning, then you're going to have superficial results. But if it's as a deep, impactful meaning, then you're going to have a deep, impactful, because you are put into, relationship business is what it is. Then learning to grow yourself and understanding what leadership is about. I love John Maxwell, and I love the things that he teaches about leadership and how, and I wish I had studied him more earlier on, because I may not have dropped, and I may not have had people leave, and I just didn't know, and it's not my full responsibility to drag people, if you will, and it's not yours either. However, you've got to be your best and do your best with the gifts that God has given you and the abilities that you have. So,
Erica, when you were talking in the beginning and you got choked up a little bit, I got choked up because I know that exact feeling you were feeling, like to have that same, even in 7 year, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, and to have that same fire and motivation that you did day one, it is hard. Like,
mhm.
it's so hard, and it's like something you long for, that beginning feeling. And you talked about
This
how you
helps. I
went.
mean,
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, I was thinking about your road to 200K. That's fast. I mean, most people don't go that fast. And a lot of people think you get there and then, oh, it's just, it's easy from that point. And it gets so hard, like we run out of our friends and family. So we've got to start figuring out where else do we go to meet people. And then we start to see the responsibility that's on our shoulders. And you just mentioned John Maxwell, and I'm so excited because I actually get to meet him. Well, not personally, but I get to see him on the stage speaking in Vegas. So I'm super excited because he's like one of my top, like every book. He is so amazing. So I'm with you on that. But it's like a journey that you have to decide to grow as a person. Like you can either stay stuck and be this person that you are, or you can evolve and grow yourself and become better, because the person I know that I was when I started is definitely not who I am today. Like I am such a better leader, person, mentor, coach, but there's a lot of people that don't do it. They literally just ride the wave, and then when they get stuck, they don't overcome those hurdles. And like a lot of people think, oh, we just, we're 200K, so that's like it's all great, it's all good. People lose rank. We don't go like advertise, I just lost 200K, everybody. I've got a really heavy
right,
leg and
right.
it's driving me nuts.
Yeah, you
Like,
don't want to, I know. And I'm sorry. I just have to be real in the fact that in 7 years, I had never lost it, but I haven't been 200K for the last 3 or 4 months, although I have $3 million in volume under me. So, and that's all because of them, nothing I've done. It's all because of them and their efforts and the leaders that they are. So I
and a
apologize if
lot of
that
people,
discourages anyone, but it's reality.
how do you look at that heavy leg? Because I have so many people in my organization, and it's so common to have one leg that is like,
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a heavy leg, and my heavy leg has a heavy leg. I mean, I don't know anybody that doesn't have like this
Yeah.
one dominating leg. And a lot of people look at
Right.
that as a bad thing. You've seen it, I've seen it, where people are complaining that they have a rock star underneath of them. Like, what is your thought
Oh,
process going through that?
oh wow. I've never thought that. But, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have a rock star under me. Uh, no, I'm just like, that's incredible. What are you doing? Like, I want to learn from you too. Humility. And I think because of that big belief and the faith that I have in my life, that I, and that's where I really dove into the scripture with regard to toiling in my life. And, and that I need to work on in order for to whom much is given, much shared. And I'm like, okay, I'm not shaming myself for this, although that comes in my mind sometimes. You're like, okay, well, what have I done? What do I need to do differently? Like all of those things I do. It's like this spiritual schizophrenia. Like, whoa, I have faith, but then I'm like, over here, God's going to do this. Is he really going to do it? Like it's crazy. I mean, I know we all go through that where you're like, you have big belief, but then you question it, right? But I think the thing that God wants me to do and what he's working on me through this is gratitude. I mean, you can say gratitude, but it really truly is an attitude. And so when my checks completely changed, my heart changed. And I think because my intentions for this business are so in line with my integrity, like my intention for helping people and knowing that this is an incredible product and an incredible business opportunity, that when that happens, I don't waver. So that's why you see people hopping ship and doing things, because their intentions and integrity are in alignment with their priorities and their core values. So during this last couple of years, I have created a process for myself to where I hone down my core values based on my priorities. I don't know why God did that over the last 2 years, because it's only been in the last month have my checks changed. So I think he was preparing me for this in a way that I would be able to give him glory for it, and to understand that, like, this is all for a reason. Everything is happening for a reason. And in life, you have to be in line with your priorities and your integrity as well. So perspective, and that's the only way that I look at it in order for it to align with what.
I'm sorry, you're cutting out on me a little bit.
Uh-oh. It did say my internet was unstable. Let me open up my door here. Hold on.
Mine does that too, like depending on where I'm at in the house. Like it's either good connection or
Yeah.
bad.
Well, I'm outside. I'm actually in an Airstream trailer, so I don't know if you know. This is like my office, but yeah, it's an old vintage 1955
Oh my
trailer.
gosh, how
And
cute. That is so cute. I'm
that's why
loving
it's so
it.
shiny back there. Yeah.
I love
But
it.
my Wi-Fi's a little far away, but I opened the door, so it should be better now.
I just want to, first of all, thank you for your honesty and your courage, because there's a lot of people that I think people don't realize that we all have a story and things going on behind the scenes. And I mean, yeah, I may not have lost 200K, but I certainly have lost a lot of volume, before. Like I've had ebbs and flows in my business that it's been like, whoa, that's amazing. And everything's on fire. And then all of a sudden it's like, where did everybody go? Did the rapture happen? Like no one
Right.
is showing up. And it's like,
Yeah.
where is
Yeah.
everybody? And I just think it is so awesome and refreshing to hear somebody come on and say that this is where I am at right now and that it happens. I cannot tell you, just looking through the names of the people that are on this Zoom right now, how many of them are in the exact same place. And I think that one of the things you mentioned is, having that, grounded, rooted, why are you here? Getting back to that beginning reason, and also knowing that the answer isn't moving to a different company or starting another business. Like that's the answer lies within us, and we have
Yeah.
to then figure out, where do we go from here. And we're going to hit these hurdles, like no matter what. I don't care who you are on this call. You could be riding the best wave ever, and at the end of the day you are going to hit a wall at some point. Like it's never just straight up. I don't know any business that is. I have like friends that own traditional businesses and none of them are like, business is great all the time. I mean, people struggle. You know, the economy is great, the economy is bad. There's a recession, no, there's not. Like, that is just life. And it always saddens me when people just throw in the towel as soon as they hit those walls. And the first thing we think of is like quitting. That is our first go to for so many people. And I just think that it's like incredible that, you know, that we're being so raw and honest on here, because everybody needs to know we all go through these struggles. What is helping you right now? Like, what's your plan of action? Like, you're in this spot. I
I
know you're,
love it. Yeah.
yeah, I know you're driven. I know you're all about like,
Yeah.
I'm getting back to where I need to be. So, what's your plan of action?
Well, God has been giving me 2 words this week, and I think, yes, we can talk about the challenges and we can talk about the things we go through, but you also need to, it's just like when you get rid of something in your life, you have to replace it with something good. You know, when God takes things away from you, or he, you know, he heals you, or delivers you from something, you have to put something good back in there. And so, you know, we're talking about all of this, but we need tools and we need to know how. And like all of you are saying, okay, well, how do I find the priorities and the core values and all of that? I'm happy to do a Zoom on that for you guys to learn how to get in alignment with the core values and priorities, because I think that's really helped me in any situation in life. Like even just speaking in a room. You know how sometimes you get in a room and you're like, you say something or you have an interaction with somebody and you walk away and you're like, oh gosh, what did I say? How did I say that? Did that? Oh gosh, I hope that didn't come up. That's me. I grew up with conditional love. So like my whole life I've had to like restore my soul with that. So I created a way where I can go into a situation and know that I'm in alignment with my core values and how God made me, and walk away with freedom. So, but ultimately it's freedom. We're all looking for freedom, whether it's spiritually, financially, all of that. So the action plan for what I'm doing now, and those of you that are in the same situation, the action plan that I think you might be able to implement in your business is, the 2 words that God's been giving me is stewardship and grace. Those words have just been hard. Like every time I turn around, I'm just like, I see it or I hear it or my Bible studies about it. And I'm like, okay, God, what is going on here? And stewardship is kind of an all encompassing word. However, compartmentalize it and just like put it into one category or use it for one category of our life. And when I mean, what I mean by stewardship is that you being responsible and using the gifts that God has given you, whether it's your time, your experience, your money, tithing, all of the things that God requires of us based on the truth, which is the word, have to do with stewardship. And being a good steward of your time, being a good steward of the people that God has brought into your life, and those people that you have asked to trust you and then you ghosted them. I've done it because I was trying to hit a goal or something, you know, like I'm not doing that anymore. I'm being a good steward of people's hearts. And I think that's the thing that God has been telling me, like, you've got to be a good steward of your business, your follow-ups, the money that I've given you. I've been really good with my money. That's kind of my thing. Dax says I can turn rocks to money. We've invested in so many different things that are solid, concrete things that are biblically based, not the stock market, not 401ks, not IRAs, all those things that defer your taxes. I don't want to pay the tax on the harvest. I want to pay the tax on the seed, Lord. And being a good steward and the grace to be able to do that. That's what grace is. The ability of God to give you the power to do what you cannot do by yourself. And that's the word that I'm moving forward with in my action plan, being a good steward. When I think of something, I'm doing it. We get so distracted right now. That's why, you know, even at one point in my business, I thought, gosh, I'm going to need something to help me focus because I'm just so not focused. And I think, oh, well, everybody's taking this medicine. It makes them skinny and they're focused. Maybe I should take it too, right? Totally thought about that at one point. No. I cannot do that because I have the ability through grace to be able to focus on one thing at a time and to be able to fulfill and use those gifts that God's given me to help people. And that's my action plan. That is my action plan. Those two words. And without faith, none of those are possible. Without the big belief, none of that is possible. It's not, because we can't do it on our own. There's no way. We cannot do it on our own. That's why you've got to have community. You've got to have your faith, and you've got to stick to your truth with your priorities and your core values, and just hone that part of your life. Hone it.
And you have to have grace with yourself. I think we
Yeah.
totally start, we get so down. And if you get in that pit where you are so down, it's really action. Like I always tell people, when I'm in a really bad place and it seems like my business isn't moving forward, things are going backwards.
Yeah.
It's so easy. I've done it before where I've fallen in that hole and it just keeps getting worse and worse. And then the deeper you kind of fall into the hole, the harder it is to crawl out. And I always tell people, even though I don't want to, I just start somewhere, anywhere. Like whether that's posting or, getting on a Zoom or a call or something. Like I just start somewhere, because if I stay in that place can get super dark and it can turn into it can turn real bad real quick. And I think that there's a lot of people on here that their faith in themselves and their grace they've been giving themselves has been non-existent.
Yeah.
Like they're starting to doubt everything.
Yeah.
If I can't get my 80K back, if I can't get my 40K back, or I have been stuck here for a year. And sometimes I think it's hard to look in the mirror too and go, are we personally responsible for the place that we're in any way, shape, or form? I mean, it's so easy to go blame our team or our upline. It's so easy. Oh, well, my team's not working and my upline's not helping. But at the end of the day, the hardest thing to do is look in the mirror and go, okay, what am I absolutely responsible for here in where I'm at, in my position, in the place that I'm at? And most of the time, I think when people do that, it's a reality check. It's hard to do, but we kind of start seeing these are the things that we need to do. Like we need to own it, I guess, which is so hard.
Yeah. And the stewardship comes in, the grace that we give ourselves sometimes can be too much too, because, we think, oh, well, it's okay. That there's a fine line between, giving yourself grace and using the grace that God has for you. So when we do look in the mirror and take full responsibility, we say, okay, what's the one thing that I need to change? What's the one thing that I need to do differently? And I think it should end up being, at the end of the day, not did you do, but did you be everything that God wants you to be in every situation? And I think if you're aligning with those, you're going to be a product of the product. You're going to be something that people want to be a part of. And I know there are action steps that you take every day to grow your business. And if you don't have them, I know that y'all have created them. If you don't know what they are and you don't know how to use them, then ask somebody. I think we put a fear, we've created a culture of fear in MLMs that anyone that isn't like us is not good, not good energy, or they're not, they're different than I am. So if I don't understand them, I'm just going to avoid them. And that's not how God wants us to be. If you don't understand someone, yes, there are people who would just go down that negative road and they don't know how to come back, and they'll keep going and then they won't come back. But if you've got someone who is struggling with something, 4 months into this business, I had a nervous breakdown. 2 months before I hit 200K, I lost 30 pounds in 1 month and my hair went completely gray. And I felt the most alone I had ever felt. I don't even remember that month. It was January. I qualified for Vegas, the very first trip I didn't go. It was a very lonely time for me. And I think since then, I got a label. I got seen as a different kind of leader, a different kind of person. And I think you should always give someone grace and a second chance. You never know what they have in them to add value to your team. And when you pull out those leadership qualities in someone, you're going to build a strong foundation. And I think having that strong foundation won't be the when someone leaves, no one will go with them. And that's what happened. When we had an ADK leave, nobody went with them. They loved their Thrive because we're real like this. We're vulnerable. We built that strong foundation. And so I think, you know, when you're there for someone's heart instead of their head, you know, you always hear people say, get out of your head and into your heart. When you're there for someone's heart and you built that community, which is what we were created for, and you support each other in all areas of their life, because we don't just have financial freedom in this business. We have emotional freedom too, because I got over that. I came through that. I created a process to help people get out of a cycle of victimization. I created a compassionate cycle of victory where someone could walk themselves through a process of being victorious and living in a state of emotional freedom. So we go through things so we can create something to help someone else. And God hasn't given you the vision and the ability, the vision to do this without the ability. And just think, everybody has a gift on this call, on this Zoom. Everybody has something to add to each other's journey, which is so cool, because what one person is doing may work for one, but you've never done it, or it's different than you. And like, you have so much information and so many valuable tools within each other. You know, I want to get on y'all's Zoom every week. Can I? Can I just get on
Yeah.
there, listen and
This is
learn?
this is
I just
every
want to learn
week.
from y'all.
But I just have to tell you the reaction that we're getting today, and especially in the chat. And actually, I'm getting messages in my messenger about this while it's happening, is really affecting people today more than I would say any other Zoom. I've been interviewing 200Ks for a year. I think I've interviewed 54 different 200Ks. Like, you're the 54th one. And this Zoom is really touching people today. And I think it's because, for me personally, why it's hitting home is because the things that we go through in life don't define who we are forever, you know, and the things that we do go through, those are things that are supposed to be lessons that we can help somebody else with. Like, you're going to run into these things and life is going to happen. And the total rawness and the realness that you're sharing with us, I think, is, we all put this face on, right? Everybody goes through social media and they're like, oh, this person's life is amazing, and this person just has it all. And it can look that way. And we always want someone else's life, and we're so consumed by the comparison game, and just the aspects of, why can't I be here? I started the same time as this person and they're already here, or why am I falling backwards? And we all go through it. Like, it's not perfect, it's messy, and it's what you do with the mess. I think it's the message, right?
Yeah. Someone in the chat actually wanted me to repeat something, but I wasn't sure. You're recording, so hopefully it didn't cut out where you could go back and answer that for them. I want to make sure that she gets
We
taken care of.
Yeah, we're recording. I don't know. I think, wait, which one?
It was about integrity, and I think, you know, if your goals or your intention for doing the business aligns with your integrity, I think that was the point she was
Oh my
asking.
gosh. And that is so true. Like,
Yeah,
where is your heart? Where is your, you know, alignment, and giving people grace? I'm getting that out of this too. Like, not just ourselves, but other people. People make mistakes, or people aren't defined by one mess in their life. Like, why do we do this to people? And we make people feel less than, or cut people out. We've all done it. Every single person on here has literally, like, been let down in some way, and then they don't even, like, let's say it's leadership. Like, let's say a leader has let you down, and it's like, we do not give that person grace. We just automatically say, I've cut this person out, I'm not letting them in. Which I see people do that all the time. They literally kind of isolate their team, and it's so sad when I see that happen, because you are cutting people off from knowing so many other people's stories and leadership styles, and when one person may not like connect with you, they might connect with someone else in their story and it may inspire them to get moving again.
I think the reason why that happens is pain. So as a leader or someone that does experience someone that does that, that I think it's not because of us, or it's not because of someone else. It's because of pain. Our decisions in life to avoid are to avoid pain. So when someone retreats, or someone retracts, or someone doesn't respond to you, it's to avoid pain in their life. So if you approach a promoter who doesn't respond to you about your double triple promo or whatever you're doing, then there's something else going on. So the avoidance of pain has to do with a lot of the decisions that are made. And that's just a small little aspect of leadership and perspective that I'm sure a lot of you know. Though sometimes it's hard to go back to that and realize that that's what's going on. And it's unfortunate that that happens, but it is life and we're all human. And, when or they're hearing, they're hearing things of the world that are telling them that their vision and their goals aren't attainable. you know I was reading this morning in Galatians, and Paul's writing to the church in Galatia about listening to things that are not from the Holy Spirit, and anything that you are telling yourself that is not in alignment with the truth that God has already told you is listening to false teaching and listening to things that aren't of God, and aren't, because God wants good for you. He wants the best for you. So anything that tells you any negativity is because it has something to do with the I could go deeper into it, but our limbic system holds a lot of memories and a lot of pain. And our limbic system it doesn't know yesterday or 30 years ago. So when you're reacting or you're experiencing something in your business, or someone else is too, it's their limbic system that is creating those feelings and things like that. And when God talks about the heart in the Bible, he's talking about the limbic system. He's talking about that being your heart and your thinking, and take captive your thoughts. He's saying take captive of those things that are happening in your life and switch them back to the truth. And that's what happens in leadership when we have people that want to separate themselves. We have people that want to, uh, not be a part of something. It's because something in their life has caused them to think that there's pain associated with that. Um, so
That's so like eye opening. It's so true. I love what you said. Like,
and being able to
it,
train yourself is the hardest part.
right. It doesn't differentiate between now and 30 years ago. Like the pain that we hold on to, it's like,
Mhm.
it's what is holding so many people back
Yeah.
from like success really at anything, is we start letting those negative thoughts come in, and that's definitely not God speaking through you.
Right. Yeah.
That's the total opposite.
And having someone you can talk to about that is so critical, I think, in this business. You know, I, Maria Dillard is an amazing woman. I don't know why I was always afraid to talk to her about my feelings. She'd probably let me talk to her, but I was always afraid to. And you never know who's going to let you talk to them. I'm sure she would open her ear to me right now and let me talk about anything I'm going through. But something in my life told me that I can't talk about my feelings. And I know exactly when it happened, when I was a younger child. I went back to that place when I was first hurt by talking and opening my mouth, and I was told to be quiet because it was none of my business when my parents were getting a divorce. So I know then now that, like, I'm terrified to talk, not like this, but terrified to talk about, how I'm feeling one-on-one. This is easy because it's not really one-on-one. It's all of you. Now get me one-on-one. I might walk away and be like, what did I say? Like, like all those things. And, that limbic system's like firing those pain signals back to me. So as long as I'm aware of it, I can walk myself through it. And I think in leadership, if you can do that, walk yourself through it, you'll be able to walk other people through it with whatever. And that's huge in this business because there's a lot of uncomfortableness. It's so uncomfortable. But making yourself do the uncomfortable is discipline. And having discipline is crucial and vital to you being able to impact people. You've got to. I think 1 out of 15 people will become an auto ship customer. I mean, those are just the numbers that I have figured out. They may not be an auto ship customer forever, but 1 out of 15, you're going to get someone that loves the product. So you're going to have to talk to that many people. And it's not a numbers game. Like, you don't just go and get 15. I mean, I know numbers are involved and you heard that. And when you wrap your brain around the concept, yes. However, those are people. We know when you say it's a numbers game, we're not saying it's all about getting the numbers. It's about talking to as many people as you can to impact their life. And, you've got to talk to a lot of people. You want to grow your business. You've got to go and get 15 people on the product in order to get one. I know that seems like a lot of work, but it's hard work, but a great reward too. A great reward. I mean, I remember I had a 5-figure check one week and I was just like, oh my gosh, that only happened one week, but I was like, oh my gosh, this is so, I sat down in the store and I just cried. It's like, you gotta be kidding. And now I look back, I'm like, what would my checks have been if I had just worked a little harder, talked to a couple more people, and, like the ripple effect would have been bigger and further. And that ripple effect gets further and further away. And when you see your checks falling, it's because that ripple effect is further and further away. So you've got to bring that ripple effect closer into you. And that will ignite you, because those stories are going to be closer to you too. The stories are what will keep you fired up as well. So don't miss a call. Don't miss getting on. Even if you don't want to, just listen to someone else talk. Like, if you hadn't got on today, what if the one thing that you needed to take you to the next level was said by Lisa or myself today? Like, the one thing. So don't miss the opportunity to learn from other people, grow from other people, and take wise counsel from other people.
That's so powerful. Well, everything you've said, I think everybody's needed to hear. And I think it's just refreshing to like cut past all the BS and like lay it out there. You know what I mean? Like, this is life. And what I love, I think, most is that, I mean, we all have to have that thing. You definitely have your faith. It's pulling you through. Everybody needs to have something in them that wants this. You've got to want it. Like, nothing in life, you don't get it by not working for it. I don't care what it is. And that's what's so sad, is watching people, we watch people do it all the time. They come in with big hopes and dreams and goals, and they're so excited. And then that excitement is so fleeting. Within 2-3 weeks, it's like, where is this person that I signed? Or where's this person that, last year flew to 80K and now I can't find them anywhere. Or it's just like the mindset shift, really. And I tell people all the time, like, this business really is 99% mindset. I mean, once you have your mind made up that you're not going to quit,
Yeah.
that you have a vision, that you have this goal, and you've taken the whole quitting aspect of everything off the table, then there's no other place to go but up. There's no other thing to do but figure out a way around that wall, out of the hole. And it really is the mindset to do it. But it is so deflating. Life is in general, right? When we hit these walls and we fall in these holes, because it's like, how do we get out? Like, I'm so tired of crawling out of holes. But it's the difference between that person that's going to be a millionaire or not. It's the difference between the person that's going to lose 50 pounds or not. It's whatever you've set your goal, or mine too. The difference is that you realize that it's not always going to be fun. It's going to be hard. It's going to be crawling your way out of one hole after another. It's going to be failing and failing and failing until you figure out the right way. And until I think everybody can come to grips with that, then if you're always looking for, I guess what I'm saying is, people are always looking for that excited feeling that you feel in the beginning. And the second it's gone, everybody else is gone. It's just like losing weight. You're all excited and you go to the gym and it's been a week, and you're all pumped and you're like, yeah, it's my New Year's resolution. And then after a week, you step on the scale and 0.5 pounds are gone. And you're like, well, screw this. I'm going to go get a sundae. Because we like literally give up that quickly. Like, that is society. That is who like everybody's become. If it is not easy, if it is not quick, then people just you're out. I'm out. Peace. It's like,
Oh, do we have time? I'll just ask you.
oh,
You
go
talked
for it,
about
girl.
coming to grips with it. How much time do we have? Does anybody want to hear
Yeah,
that?
we
I
want to
mean,
hear.
Okay,
Go
so
for
you
it.
said coming to grips with it. What is that, right? And I had opened my notes up from me studying this week and just going deeper with the Lord in scripture. And he always gives me words, and then I expound on those words and look for scripture to align with those, but coming to grips with it. And the two words that I got were preparation and restoration. And I wrote down, we get caught up in our circumstances and we cannot put any focus on preparing for what God has planned for us. Restoration has to happen before preparation can begin. What does God say about restoration? That was my question to myself. What if preparation is our circumstance? And in order to experience restoration, we have to experience the circumstance. And the scripture that goes along with that is, greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. And the Chinese proverb, I wrote down a Chinese proverb too, two dogs, the one that you feed will win. Like the one that you feed more will win. So if you're in a situation, you're in a circumstance, and you feed that negative side, or you see it as this circumstance is preparation for restoration. Preparation for restoration in my finances, preparation for restoration in my marriage, anything, he says, give me glory in my struggles, and like if I'm struggling, or in my times of trial, praise him. And so that's the moment that our perspective shifts. So coming to grips with something means, I think, shifting your perspective on the situation to see the circumstance as the preparation for the restoration. James 1, 6, and 7 has to do with doubting. So we can type that in there if somebody wants to type that in. James 1, 6 through 7 is doubting. Luke 10, Ephesians 5, 15 and 16, and Philippians 3, 7 through 9. Ephesians 3, 16 through 20, and then Hebrews 11, 1. And that is, faith is the assurance, the evidence of things hoped for, and the proof of things unseen, and the conviction of their reality. Faith perceiving as real fact what is not revealed to the senses. So I think that the perspective is what coming to grips with it is, if that makes sense to you guys. I know
No,
some of my notes are, I had another note here when I was talking about the limbic system, spiritual trauma. That's why you see people reject, retract and regress and digress and stuff, because of spiritual trauma. That's the limbic system talking to them. So
I
preparation.
love what you said about proof of things unseen, because that is seriously the kind of faith that you have to have going into this business, to the diet that you're on, that it's like this proof of things that are unseen. It's like you have to know that the end result is there if you put in the effort, if you do the work, if you stay consistent. But it's so hard, right? We start to doubt, well, maybe I'm not going to get there. Well, what if I don't ever
Yeah,
get there? What if I
yeah,
don't have the strength?
that spiritual schizophrenia that I call it, like, oh, I kick up this voice and this voice, and
Yeah, it's like the devil and the angel on one
yeah,
shoulder and the other. Like, you can
yeah,
do it. No, you can't. It's
yeah,
like we fight with our internal, like
yeah,
everyone on this Zoom wants more. You wouldn't be on this Zoom today and taking the time out of your day to be here if you didn't want to make this work. If you didn't want more for your life, you wouldn't be here. So the want is there, but I think everybody just needs to catch themselves and realize that, the truth is it's hard. All of it is, and it's not going to be easy, but the end result is the most rewarding thing in the world, when you accomplish anything, and getting to that place where you're so proud of yourself and you're like, oh my gosh, I did that. But along the way, when you hit those like low points, it's so easy to regress, and it's so easy to be like, maybe I should just quit. It always reminds me of that picture that people post on Facebook with the guy that's like picking through the wall and the gold's on the other side. And right when he's about to hit the gold, he turns around and it's like, if you would have just dug for one more day, you would have hit the gold. It's like that is every aspect of life. If you just would have kept going one more day, maybe you would have hit that right person that was going to change your business. If you would have just going for one more day, maybe you would have seen that pound you were trying to lose. It's like every aspect. If you would have tried harder in your marriage, like if you would try harder with your kids, like it's it's so easy. The easy road is giving up. And that's the road that most people take eventually. And it just sucks because for those people that don't take that road and you get to the other side and you know what's there, it becomes such a passion. Like every day I wake up in the morning and I'm like, I'm wanting it more for other people than they want it for themselves because I know what's waiting on the other side. I know if they just keep going, if they just stick with it, if they just realize that they're not the only ones that have had to face the things they're facing. We face them too. But I get that feeling of thinking that Maria Dillard had it easy. Maria Dillard did not face a thing along the way. She just got to the top and it's been roses and rainbows. It
No,
looks that way.
no,
It looks that way. So
no.
it's so easy for our heads to come in and go, they didn't have the hurdles that I have. And like looking at you and you get on here and you're speaking and everybody would think, if you wouldn't have said anything, nobody would think that you had lost 200K, or nobody would think that, before, on your way to 200K, you had a mental breakdown. Like this is life, people.
Yeah.
Like we all have nervous breakdowns. We all have depression. We all have things that are like the life is throwing at us. And during all of that, you have to keep going. It's just, but it's so easier said than done, right? Just keep going.
Why it's important to have community and to have people that you can surround yourself with, and creating a culture of safety. Uh, like, I don't know if you'll notice that if someone's unhappy doing a job, I watched a Simon Sinek video once about Southwest Airlines employees, and all of the Southwest Airlines employees are so happy. Like, they're friendly, they're happy, not all of them, but most of them are. And he went through Delta one time, and the employee was so miserable and just so like not happy about meeting people, and he asked the woman, he's like, well, what's going on? Why are you so unhappy with your job? She said, well, if I don't get this right, I'm going to get fired. So that culture of fear was created in that environment, in that leadership. And so creating a culture of safety for people is, I think it's vital in this business to be able to do that.
That is powerful.
Yeah. The
That is so powerful.
fear-based
People
leadership.
don't act well
Bullying.
to it. I
Do
mean,
what?
if you well, I was just thinking about how many leaders are on this call right now that you're in the inboxes of the people underneath of you saying, when are you going to sign a customer? When are you signing a promoter? Why aren't you working your business? You're creating a culture of fear. Like, no wonder, it's like, wow, that
Fear,
to
the
me
fear
was
is
eye
that
opening.
they'll get avoided. They'll, like the person, if create that culture of fear, then you're going, that person, the fear is, oh, well, I'm not going to be accepted, to be rejected at the next get together. I'm going to be, but their nose is going to turn up at me at the next, those are the things that kind of culture creates. And when you create that culture, you're not going to be able to keep anybody. That's not that's motivation. That doesn't inspire anyone to do anything. That motivates someone by dangling a carrot out in front of them and saying, here's a carrot, get it, and you'll be rewarded and you'll be accepted. But if you have a culture of inspiration where the Spirit of the Lord is there, it's freedom. So if you're inspiring someone and you are inspiring them because of their reasons, then you're going to create a culture of safety. But you coming out of a fear-based leadership, it does nothing for your business but put a wedge in it and a crack in that foundation. So
That's so powerful. Gosh, Erica, like I think like pretty much every single thing that you have said today has been like amazing. You know how things happen in business and like somebody speaks at that perfect time, at that perfect moment, and it's everything everyone needed to hear. Like, and God is working behind the scenes for sure because this was so needed. I think it's just impacted so many people today. And I think that everybody's taken away something a little bit different from this, what they needed to take away. And for me personally, it's, gosh, you guys, don't give up on what we have and don't lose the fire that you had in the beginning of this. What is your story? What Thrive changed your life. Somehow, some way you decided to do this and it's pushed you to join and tell other people. What is it that get back to that?
Your
That never goes away, right?
mm-mm. Lisa, your story, this just came to me too. Your story isn't the result of what you have done or the product you've taken. Your story is the reason why you started.
That's powerful.
So if you're just talking about the results, that's hard for people to relate to because they don't have any results yet. And if your story can be about why you started, you'll get that big belief back. You'll be able to talk to people in a way that reminds you of that, and then you'll be able to recognize their reason for why they want to start too, not just the result that they can have. And all of the things I've said to you guys on here today is because I've done it and it didn't work, or I've done it and it failed. I've failed. I have failed. I mean, I feel like I have. Most of you may think that you know, it was all success from the beginning, but I haven't. It's been really hard, and I'm thankful for it because now I have all these tools where I can start over again. It's kind of great, you know?
That's amazing. Just like the way you're thinking about this, man, what a kick in the pants it is for everybody on today to know that, it's up to you. Like it's up to you to look at the things that have happened and take the tools that you've learned along the way and go, man, I get to, you know, build something bigger and better. What the knowledge that you've gained over the last, how many years, all of you, anybody that's on here, if you've been in, think about the person that you've turned into and the person you've become compared to when you started, just inside, like if you've been self-developing, which I hope you all are, um, just the different person that you are, how much easier it's going to be to rebuild something, right? With the knowledge and the power that you have, it's incredible. Erica, I can't thank you enough for hopping on today with us and sharing. And this is recorded. So, you guys, I will make sure that I get the recording out to everybody. And I just want to literally thank you for your words. And I want to apologize right now for all the friend requests you're probably about to get.
Oh, well, good. Well,
Your inbox is going to be flooded probably.
I'll get to all of them. I will. I don't have an assistant yet.
Yes, I love that. Yes. And for those of you guys that are on here, wherever you are trying to go or trying to get, you just don't have it yet. Not never, but yet. So exciting. You guys, we get paid in 1 minute, but we definitely got paid twice today with this call. I would take this call over my paycheck today. Seriously. I just needed this. So, Erica, I just want to thank you so much. I can't thank you enough. And thanks to all of you guys that every week you show up on Tuesdays at noon Eastern and you pour into yourselves, because this is, you got to feed yourself, and hearing from everybody every week and just their hearts and their tips, you figure you're not alone. Something resonates with you, and it pushes you to just keep going. And I'm just grateful for everybody that plugs into this, because I know how much it helps me, and I know it's got to be helping you guys. So I appreciate you all. Happy Tuesday. Thank you to Erica, and thanks to all of you for hopping on today. I appreciate you guys. Happy Tuesday, guys. Happy payday.